It was the early morning of February 4th, 2021, just another day on the long stretch of Interstate 10 near Deming, New Mexico, where traffic stops aren't rare. But what happened on this day was something no one saw coming. Officer Darian Jarrett, only 28 years old, a husband and father of 3, was out doing his job like any other day, unaware what's coming next.
.51 SOCOM traffic. Gonna be on I-10 eastbound at about the 101. I'll attempt tag 0527 Edward Paul. It's gonna be a white Chevy pickup, one aboard. Can't tell what state the temp tag's out of.
What he didn't know was that the vehicle he was pulling over, a white Chevrolet pickup truck, belonged to a man named Omar Cueva Felix, who wasn't just any driver. Cueva was the target of an active investigation by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and just a week before, undercover agents had purchased methamphetamine from him, a pound of it. And during that deal, Cueva was armed with a semi-automatic rifle carrying fentanyl pills and had openly stated that he was never going back to prison. The plan was clear. Homeland Security had intended for a different officer, Leonel Palomares, to conduct the stop with full support from their special response team. But due to serious miscommunication, that message never made it to the right people. And unfortunately, it ended up being Officer Jarrett, someone who wasn't even at the briefing, someone who wasn't told the full extent of the danger, who was sent out to stop that truck where this happened.
Afternoon, sir. My name's Darian Jarrett. I'm with New Mexico State Police. The reason for the stop is your window tint's a little too dark. Yeah. You mind if I open the door? Or if you want to roll down the window more.
It's dark?
Yeah. I noticed you got temp tags. You got a registration for the vehicle?
Yes, sir.
I'll need registration and your driver's license as well. Alright, do you have insurance for the vehicle? Yeah, where is it? It's with the wallet. Do me a favor, come with me to my vehicle. That way I can run your name and date of birth, and then that way I can get my return, okay? Go ahead. Shut the vehicle off. If you want, it's up to you.
You can run my name if you want.
Well, I know.
Well, I should have my phone, actually. Babe, can you send me a photo of my license? Can you find my wallet?
That'll work. Grab the phone and come with me to my vehicle so I can get the return, and then I can make sure that everything's good.
That's
Okay. What was your name?
Omar Cueva?
Omar Cueva?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Cueva. Okay. While she's sending the pic, let's go so that I can run my checks on you. Huh? Yeah, so I can run my checks and I can talk to you a little bit while I'm running my checks, and then you'll show me the picture right away because I got paperwork I gotta do, you know? Hey, real quick. You have a firearm on you? Yeah. Oh no, I see it. Waist. Do me a favor. You mind if I take it off you for my safety? Alright, hold on. Alright, let's go to my vehicle, okay? Come on.
Officer Jarrett approached the vehicle calmly, asked Cueva to step out multiple times, and even noticed a handgun on his waistband, but he had no idea that a rifle was hidden inside. Then, in a blink, as Officer Jarrett turned away to check something, Cueva pulled out the rifle and shot him point blank in the head. He was executed without warning on the side of the road. Cueva then sped off, triggering a massive police chase that ended in a deadly shootout, where Cueva was killed in the gunfire. The damage, though, was already done. Gabriella, Officer Jarrett's wife, was left behind with 3 children, forced to face a loss that could have been prevented. From the New Mexico State Police showed up. Emails were sent out by the New Mexico Fusion Center warning about Cueva and the risk he posed, but not everyone got the message. Officer Jarrett was never told who he was stopping, or just how dangerous this man truly was. An agent from Homeland Security, Matthew Rodriguez, had even spotted Cueva that morning and passed the information to a state police sergeant, Mark Madrid. But somehow, the words armed and dangerous drug trafficker didn't make it to Jarrett, and for that mistake, a family was broken forever. In 2023, Gabriella filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the New Mexico Department of Public Safety, arguing that her husband should never have been sent out that morning without full intel. The case was eventually settled for $523,520, but no amount of money will ever fix what happened. Honestly, what makes this case so painful isn't just the violence, it's the silence. If someone had picked up the phone, if the message had been passed on properly, Officer Jarrett would have gone home that night. Instead, he became another name on a list that should never exist. Officers who gave everything because of someone else's mistake. On May 15, 2015, just like any other school day in Jefferson County, Kentucky, and outside Wilkerson Elementary School, yellow buses pulled in, lined up like they always did, ready to drop off and pick up children. But what should have been just another ordinary afternoon ride turned into something that would stay with one family for the rest of their lives. The bus that day was being driven by Melinda Sanders, and according to reports, she had a blocked view from her seat, not only because of the size of the bus itself, but also because of items cluttering the dashboard, which partially obstructed her ability to see the road clearly and, more importantly, to see the children getting off. Among the students on that bus was 7-year-old Allie Rednor, a young girl who was simply trying to get off and go home, like she had so many times before. But this time, something went terribly wrong.
What are you doing, Devin? Sit down, Devin. Is there somewhere to sit up here? What's going on right here? Oh my God. Oh my God.
You see, Melinda closed the door and drove off without realizing that Allie's backpack was still caught, and with that mistake, the unimaginable began. Allie was dragged by the school bus for 1,320 feet, nearly a quarter of a mile, over 53 horrifying seconds. As the massive vehicle moved forward, her small body was pulled helplessly across the pavement. It wasn't until a passing motorist, who happened to be running by, noticed something was wrong. He realized a child was being dragged under the bus and had the presence of mind and courage to pull his vehicle in front of the school bus, forcing Melinda to stop before things got even worse. Allie was left with severe injuries, deep abrasions across her legs and hips, nerve damage that still causes pain today, and permanent scars both on her skin and in her mind. She underwent 8 major surgeries, including skin grafts and painful scar revision procedures. And as if the physical pain weren't enough, she developed severe post-traumatic stress and became terrified of school buses altogether. She was only 7, and something as simple as getting off a school bus changed her entire life. Melinda Sanders was fired a month later in June 2015, but the damage was already done. The Rednor family filed a lawsuit against Jefferson County Public Schools, arguing that the driver was not properly trained and that the district failed to implement necessary safety protocols. Eventually, they reached a $4.8 million settlement, structured to cover not only Allie's medical costs, but also her long-term recovery and mental health support, an amount that reflects the depth of her trauma. But perhaps the only good that came from this tragedy was change. New laws were passed requiring school buses to be equipped with sensors and upgraded technology to alert drivers if a child is still near or stuck in the door, a feature that could have spared Allie from the horror she endured. Today, Allie Rednor is 17 years old. Rather than let that pain define her, she has chosen to speak up. She's become an advocate for school bus safety, using her story to help ensure other kids don't suffer like she did. This never should have happened. A school bus isn't just a vehicle, it's a moving trust. When someone is given the responsibility to drive children, the least they can do is pay attention, because a single moment of distraction can become a lifetime of pain. Back in Time is a YouTube channel run by a couple named Chris and Meg who spend their time exploring forgotten, decaying buildings, old homes, and places that time itself seems to have given up on. Abandoned hospitals, schools, and broken down houses. On one particular day, they were scrolling through old satellite maps when they came across something strange. An isolated farmhouse, deep in the countryside, barely visible from the road, and based on how overgrown it looked, it hadn't been touched in what seemed like decades. With cameras ready, they made their way to the site, expecting nothing more than another crumbling building, maybe some peeling wallpaper, a few rusted beds, and the usual signs of time slowly taking over. But what they found inside was something else entirely. From the outside, the house looked exactly how you'd expect. Broken windows, ivy creeping up the sides. Inside, things were worse. Layers of dust, rotting floorboards, and dead birds. Dozens of them, scattered throughout the rooms. But then they reached the second floor, and everything changed.
It's a thin, narrow piece of carpet that comes all the way across. Absolutely nuts. Maybe we'll come into this bedroom here. And wow. What an absolute beauty this place is. Try to get the light a bit better on there, but look at that bed. The old Zimmer frame. So they've still got the old bag. That's what the old people use these days, don't they? Get all their shopping in. Little table there with a few bits. Loving that wardrobe.
I'll just squeeze and touch you. Can I help you?
Oh my god! Help!
Oh my
You're
God.
alive!
I'm living here. Yeah?
No!
But we can't. Look,
We thought it was
here.
abandoned. We thought it was abandoned.
You can't live in here.
Holy shit! Are you okay? We thought
How
that
did you get in?
there's a window that's open downstairs.
Window open. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an open window. What we do,
We do
take
videos on.
pictures of like old farmhouses because we're really interested in it. Oh.
We thought it was abandoned because of this.
No. You live in here.
Oh
Why do
no!
you live in here? Is there no way you can go and look at it? Do you not think it's a bit...
It is, yeah.
Have you not got family?
No.
You haven't?
Oh Jesus Christ!
I've got anybody.
You scared the life out of. You literally scared the life out of me,
Is there anything we
man.
can do to help you?
Where are you from?
We live in Northamptonshire.
Hamptonshire.
I don't know whether you can help me or not. I've not got any kids and I've not got any
Whose
grandkids.
farms is there?
Yeah, somebody's farm there, yeah.
So is this not your farm then?
No,
Is this your house?
no,
It's not your house?
no,
So do you just live here then?
yeah.
Oh God! I'm sorry. We didn't realise because of all the cobwebs and all the decay. We just assumed that it was abandoned.
Yeah. No.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus Christ!
What about food? How do you eat?
Where?
How do you eat food?
Yeah.
Do you eat food?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
At the end of a narrow hallway, tucked inside what looked like a child's bedroom, they found a bed that was still being used, and lying in that bed was a woman, alive, surrounded by decay, filth, and even more dead birds. Her name was Jane. She was old, fragile-looking, just tired, like someone who had grown used to the silence. Chris and Meg were completely stunned, not just by the fact that someone was living there, but by how calm she seemed, as if this was just another day for her. Jane told them she had been living in that same farmhouse for almost 30 years, since 1993, when she arrived to help someone out for a few days and just never left. She claimed she had enough food, that she had a husband and a brother, and that everything was fine. When they offered to help, even just to clean up or call someone, she gently declined, saying she was all right and didn't want them to worry.
I was going to say to you, we're going away for the weekend, but we're back on Sunday or Monday. If there's anything that we can come and give to you, so we're only down the road.
Do you need any food or anything?
Like, if we can come and drop something off on Monday or something for you, anything like, they're your slippers.
Yeah.
Do you want some new? Do you need some new slippers? Do you need anything?
Get you some new slippers and some nice blankets.
No, I'm alright for blankets.
But look at them, they're horrible.
But I've got some new ones.
Why don't you use them?
Oh, I will,
Yeah, I think you should. The thing is, and your pillow as well, the thing is, everything is damp in here, it's going to make you ill.
Yeah, you will end up
It's going to make you
on your
really
chest.
ill.
yeah. This guy's a dump house, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is. That's what I mean. And you're going to get ill. You not got any family at all? No one? No? Have you ever had a husband? Was you married or?
Oh, yeah.
You was?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, if we could, do you sleep most of the day then?
Yeah.
You do. You just sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say on Monday, we drop some bits round. Can
Yeah, can we drop you some bits
round?
round?
Slippers and some food.
No, I don't want you to.
I know, but you're. You know what? If I had room in my house, I'd tell you. I'd say, "Come on, you're coming to live with me."
No.
Honestly, I would. Because look at the
I know.
state of this room. Look at the state of this house.
I don't want you to get worried and put yourself out. You've got 4 children.
It's alright.
It was a strange moment, deeply unsettling. Not just because of her living conditions, but because of how sure she seemed that everything was okay. Chris and Meg did what any decent person would do. They called adult social services, unsure of whether this woman had slipped through the cracks or if something more serious was going on. But to their surprise, the agency confirmed they already knew about Jane. They didn't share much, only that she wasn't forgotten. And for reasons they couldn't explain, they had let her stay. With that answer, and unsure what else they could do, the explorers decided to leave. They said goodbye to Jane, thanked her for letting them in, and told her they'd be happy to come back if she ever needed anything. But as they walked back down those creaky stairs and stepped out into the daylight, they couldn't shake the feeling that something about that house, about Jane, wasn't quite right. Maybe it was the birds, maybe it was the silence, or maybe it was the fact that someone could live for decades in such a place, surrounded by nothing but memories, shadows, and time. To this day, no one knows the full truth about Jane's story, who she came to help, why she never left, or what really happened in that house. But one thing is clear: she didn't want to be found, and somehow she was still holding on. Hiking is supposed to be peaceful, a way to enjoy the world, breathe fresh air, escape the noise, and feel free. But sometimes it can turn into something you never imagined. On June 21st, 2025, just after 6 a.m., Juliana Marins, a 26-year-old tourist from Niterói, Brazil, was hiking Mount Rinjani in Indonesia, one of the most dangerous and most beautiful volcanoes in the world. And she was not alone. Juliana was with 5 other tourists and a local guide, doing what many dream of, exploring the steep trails and jaw-dropping views of that sacred mountain. According to her family, somewhere along the way, Juliana became exhausted, completely worn out by the climb and the altitude, and she asked the guide to stop, just for a while, to let her rest and catch her breath. But instead of staying with her or waiting, the guide made a decision that would end everything. He left her there, alone, in the middle of that treacherous mountain trail. When he finally came back, this happened.
We're here with you!
Ya tokol tamu nih. Ya tokol andang tuh no.
Oh, itu kan dong kak.
Oh ya tokol nih darat.
Enggak center dong, tidak notak. Soalnya lu center naik sih kita berjudu kan. Ya,
Darat kepindah nih. Ya tokol no.
Lapun tas masih jauh tas no. Amin.
Jadi tahu dia dari dulu kena belakang tu sudah gitu. Kalau belakang dia crack, memang dia tak boleh bangun lagi.
Start dale. See, wait. This looks so scary.
Yeah, she looks very
See?
scary. She just keep doing this, so I think she
She's
is
trying to.
not very sober. Yeah, she just.
No tiene el móvil, ¿no?
Sorry.
Aléjalo, está
Yeah, her eyes.
Sí.
See?
Aléjalo.
You want to record one more time?
No, es lo que iba.
She had slipped, fallen over 1,000 feet, and was trapped, stuck on a narrow rock ledge, hidden deep inside the volcanic crater. And although people nearby said they could hear her screams echoing through the cliffs that morning, the rescue team could not reach her. The terrain was brutal. The fog was thick. The weather kept shifting, and every second that passed, Juliana was still out there, alone, in pain, terrified, hoping someone would reach her in time, but time ran out. On June 24th, 4 days later, Indonesian officials confirmed what everyone feared. Juliana Marins had died. Her body was found near the crater wall, deep inside the volcano, at about 600 meters down, spotted only after searchers deployed thermal drones to scan the area. Rescue teams, battling danger themselves, worked for hours to bring her back, carrying her body all the way down to the base camp at Sembalun. Her family and friends, devastated and angry, accused the Indonesian authorities of delays, confusion, and even misleading information. At one point, officials reportedly said she had been found and was being given food and water, which turned out to be completely false. That lie gave her family hope, and then it shattered them. Juliana was an experienced traveler, someone who had spent months backpacking across Asia, full of life, full of courage, just trying to see the world. To think that she might have sat there, calling out for help in the cold, stuck on that cliff for hours, maybe even days, while the storm rolled in and nobody came, it's the kind of thing that haunts you. Sometimes, adventure can turn into a nightmare, not because of wild animals or something paranormal, but because of simple human failure, poor decisions, and the cruel silence of nature. And in Juliana's case, it cost her everything.